And we begin CBS 2 News at 5 with breaking news in Buena Park, where a pursuit has come to an end and officers are now searching for the suspect.
Let's go to Stu Mandel live in Sky 2 with the very latest. Stu?
Jeff and Pat, happened out here on Marshall Street. That's a residential street just north of Commonwealth out here in the Buena Park area. That little white Honda you see there in the center, that was the vehicle they were chasing. Now, Marshall has become a huge hub of activity. You can see a number of officers out here from Buena Park PD, and they are searching this neighborhood out here. Apparently, this person may have been armed when he jumped out of that vehicle and ran. Several streets, all residential right now, are blocked. Earlier on, they had a portion of Beach shut down as well. They have opened up that street since then and have actually made the perimeter, that means the search area, a little bit smaller. Several dogs from Buena Park PD, along with their canines, are out here searching right now. As of now, that suspect has not been found, but he still may be possibly armed. Live in Sky 2 over Buena Park, I'm Stu Mandel. Back to you two in the studio.
Thank you, Stu. Burned to the ground, a Boyle Heights building goes up in flames.
And the big question right now, what caused it?
Well, CBS 2's Dave Lopez is live on the scene along East Pico Boulevard with what investigators are telling him. Dave.
Well, Pat, it was quite a scene. If we can believe the owner, if his story is true, it was electrical sparks that started. He was going to change the electricity in here, and he said something went terribly wrong. As you take a look inside, this is a garment industry. I should say what's left of this garment industry. We also want to make it very clear that the 3 firefighters who were burned are not in life-threatening situations, although one was listed as critical, the one who fell partially through the roof. He is now stable, not critical anymore, and there might have been a second firefighter that fell through the roof. That's all part of the investigation, but 3 did suffer burns, and as you can see, the building, it's gone. The fire had just erupted right before 1 o'clock. Cell phone photos show the thick black smoke pouring out of the roof of what used to be the headquarters of Passion Imports, a garment business just off Soto and Olympic in Boyle Heights. The view from the air, you could see the building was totally engulfed, and firefighters not only rushed inside the building, but also attacked this fire from the roof. And that's where a probationary firefighter in his first year on the job partially fell through the roof. How far?
Partially. We don't know how far. They were able to immediately grab him, pull him to safety, ultimately come down the ladder to awaiting firefighter paramedics.
2 other firefighters on the roof sustained burns. However, all 3 firefighters, including the one who fell partially through the roof, non-life-threatening injuries.
We saw the flames coming up higher, and all of a sudden we saw the firefighters coming in, and then we saw a firefighter got burned, I think, that they took him in.
This man said he worked next door. Just before 1, he said he heard an explosion, people screaming, and then running out of the burning building.
Did you have a lot of fire extinguishers?
Yes, we did.
Did they all work?
It worked, but fire was so fast, it was all clothing, and we couldn't stop it.
Aaron Dutt, the owner of the company, said that the sprinkler system inside his building worked, but he said the fire was intense. He couldn't tell me how many people were inside the building at the time, only that he's certain everyone got out. The fire department confirms that. And he said he's dazed. People around him all work for him. None of them wanted to go on camera, but one person in Spanish did tell me, we ran.
They were changing the lights. There was about 10 guys, and then while they were changing it, something happened, and then
the wires might have hit something, or what?
Yeah, it's a short circuit or something happened.
He said it was supposed to be a simple job, just change the lights, and hundreds of boxes inside, filled with garments, burned, went up in smoke. He said everything inside is gone. And from the fire department, arson investigators were immediately on the scene, questioning the crew that was changing the lights when the fire broke out. Again, well, it's supposed to be a simple fixing the light system resulted in this. That's according to the owner. The fire department is looking at that. That's why the arson unit is here. And I am told it's very customary in a fire like this, especially when firefighters are injured, that the arson squad is called in here. As to whether the building is structurally sound, well, that also will have to be determined the next couple of days. But as far as the contents inside, you saw for yourself. It's gone. Reporting live from Boyle Heights, I'm Dave Lopez, CBS 2 News.
Dave, thank you. Breaking news in Long Beach, where the search is on for a man with a gun on the campus of Poly High School. The call came in around 3 o'clock this afternoon. The campus is on lockdown as officers sweep the area. So far, no weapons have been found, and parents were told to pick up their children a few blocks away on Atlantic and Anaheim.
We're hearing today from one woman who went on a date with a doctor who is now accused of drugging and raping women.
Just one day after the stunning allegations against a Newport Beach doctor, more potential victims are coming forward.
That's right. And the DA says reality show doctor and his girlfriend lured, drugged, and raped women.
CBS 2 Orange County reporter Michelle Gili is live in Newport Beach with one woman's account of going out with him, and she has details on the search for more victims. Michelle?
She is horrified, and she does have a story to tell. And we have received an update from the Orange County District Attorney's Office. Calls keep coming in about this doctor and his girlfriend, and they say they're now up to at least 6 potential victims.
I feel so bad for those girls. It breaks my heart.
Lauren Hayden says she went out on a date after meeting Newport Beach surgeon and accused rapist Grant Robichaud online last October. It didn't go well.
He started he started trying to pull my bathing suit off me, and I thought he was just kind of being an idiot.
Hayden says she wasn't drugged or attacked like the other alleged victims, but she wishes she'd gone to police about the doctor's aggressive behavior. Lauren Hayden got these texts before going to Robichaud's home in the peninsula. He bragged about his cooking. It's the spot where officials say at least 2 women were sexually assaulted by Robichaud and his girlfriend, Sarissa Riley. This is the same man who was voted 2013's Bachelor of the Year by Orange Coast Magazine.
I read that before going on a date with him. I read that article. He seemed like a great guy, according to what everybody else is saying. Why wasn't there an article saying, hey, there's some suspicious activity with this man?
The criminal case may be getting bigger against Robichaud, an orthopedic surgeon and one-time star of a Bravo dating show.
My profile name is In Good Hands.
3 more victims have come forward, according to the district attorney, 2 from out of state. Since news broke Tuesday, dozens of calls came into law enforcement. Officials warn there could be many victims. Robichaud and Riley lured women, they say, from local bars and restaurants and made trips to festivals like Burning Man in Nevada and Dirty Bird Campout here in Orange County. The DA has hundreds of video clips as evidence.
We have some clips of this couple having sex with other women, and we have some clips of this doctor having sex with other women. So there's a lot of evidence, a lot of information on these videos, and some of the videos show other women who do not appear to be able to consent.
Yesterday, Dr. Robichaud's name was on Hoag Hospital's website. Hoag is here in Newport. Today, his name is gone. We do know that he works out of another hospital in the city of Orange. The doctor and his girlfriend are free on bail. We also reached out to the California Medical Board. The officials there say that their investigations are confidential, but they are aware of these charges and they are looking into it. That's the latest live in Newport Beach. Back to you.
Orange County detectives are trying a new tactic to hunt down a millionaire fugitive accused of killing his wife. Peter Chadwick, a real estate investor from Newport Beach, was freed on $2 million bond in 2015 when he took off from the Santa Barbara airport. Detectives say he has the money and the means to go anywhere in the world. In addition to a $100,000 reward, they are putting on a podcast series called Countdown to Capture to spread the word globally.
Our deputies, along with our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, will leave no stone unturned until Chadwick is behind bars. It's not a matter of if we catch him, it's a matter of when.
54-year-old Chadwick is also on the U.S. Marshal's most wanted list.
A preliminary hearing set today for the man charged with the murder of a Trader Joe's employee. Gene Atkins will be back in court November 7th. Melly Corrado was killed by an LAPD bullet during a shootout with Atkins outside the Silver Lake store. Prosecutors say Atkins is charged with her killing for starting that chain of events that led to Corrado's death. His bail was reduced to $15 million.
Rape and kidnap victim Elizabeth Smart is speaking out today as the woman who kidnapped her got out of prison. 72-year-old Wanda Barzee was released this morning in Utah. She's out 6 years early after serving 15 years behind bars. Officials made a mistake in calculating her sentence.
Barzee kidnapped Smart when Smart was 14. Barzee and her husband held Smart captive for 9 months. Today, Smart spoke about Barzee's release.
It certainly has been a roller coaster of emotion, and at the same time, I've received an outpouring of love, of support, of prayers, and I just think the best thing that all of us can do, that I will continue to be, that I hope everyone else continues to be, is vigilant in protecting our families, our friends, our communities.
Barzee must register as a sex offender. Her husband, Brian Mitchell, is serving life in prison for kidnapping and rape.
Well, Monday's public hearing into sexual assault allegations against Judge Brett Kavanaugh is up in the air.
His accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, doesn't want to testify unless the FBI first investigates. CBS 2 political reporter Dave Bryant here now with the latest developments on the testimony and turmoil, Dave.
It really is. It looks like the two sides are kind of talking past one another right now, and that's why there are serious questions about whether this Monday hearing is even going to take place. Late today came word that the Senate Judiciary Committee has set a deadline for Judge Brett Kavanaugh's accuser to testify, but Christine Blasey Ford wants the FBI to get involved. And President Trump has rejected that idea, saying the FBI has already done its work while he defends Kavanaugh.
Why not have an FBI investigation?
President Trump voicing confidence today that his Supreme Court nominee will weather the sexual assault allegation made against him. So confident, in fact, that he's already referring to Brett Kavanaugh as a court justice.
Justice
Kavanaugh's nomination seems to be moving forward as Republicans are growing frustrated with his accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, who announced through her attorney Tuesday night she wants an FBI investigation before testifying. Trump, who has the power to make that call, arguing for the opposite today.
I would let the senators take their course. Let the senators do it.
Ford alleges Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when they were teenagers, accusations he denies. Trump urging her to tell her story.
I'd really want to see her. I really would want to see what she has to say.
But casting doubt on her allegations while repeatedly embracing Kavanaugh.
He is such an outstanding man. Very hard for me to imagine that anything happened.
Trump adding this curious statement today.
If she shows up and makes a credible showing, that'll be very interesting, and we'll have to make a decision.
Ford's attorney says Ford's email has been hacked and she's been impersonated online.
She's been dealing with hate mail, harassment, death threats. So she's been spending her time trying to figure out how to put her life back together, how to protect herself and her family.
Senator Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, told reporters today he's continuing to reach out to Ford.
Where I'm focused right now is doing everything that we can to make Dr. Ford comfortable with coming before our committee.
But Senator Susan Collins, who could be a crucial vote for Kavanaugh, pushing back on Ford's request for an FBI investigation, adding,
I think it's not fair to Judge Kavanaugh for her not to come forward and testify.
Now, this evening, Republicans are turning up the heat on Christine Blasey Ford about whether or not she will testify on Monday. Today, we learned that Senate Judiciary Committee Chuck Grassley, who we saw in that report, sent a letter to Ford's lawyers setting a deadline of 10 a.m. Friday morning for them to submit documents related to the case if she wants to testify Monday. Jeff, back to you.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Well, caught on camera, a woman slashes the tires on nearly 100 cars. Details on the early morning vandalism spree.
Also opening kids' eyes to the dangers of vaping. The graphic messages being used to get the word out.
But first, our Jim Hill sits down with Oscar De La Hoya to talk about life after boxing and his possible White House hopes.
And here's a live look with our Santa Monica Pier camera. Lots of sunshine today, but temperatures a little bit cooler. I'll tell you about a brief warm-up on the way.